let's at least give everybody $1,000. If you don't need $1,000, give it to whoever you want. But it's putting something into society.
Well, for example, someone who's maybe having a child and it wasn't fully planned out, imagine that, and you need to take a good 6 months off work. I know. You need to take a good 6 months off work because you don't want to work up until the day you give birth. I mean, that's just too much on your knees and your ankles. So you want to take a little bit of time before and time while you're nursing and time to get the baby acclimated to be on this shit show of a planet. And you know what? These people generally don't have backup income like this gentleman is offering. So I think that would help so many people. And like you said, that middle class is all but extinct. And we need to assist the people that need assisting. And that includes the elderly, people that are disabled, and women who need some assistance while they're caring for their child. That $12,000 a year would really at least give that woman a place to live without that stress on her, and then make some accommodations for, foods and bills and things like that. But that would be brilliant. And I feel like when I look at that Andrew Yang's energy, I feel like people are going to grow accustomed and like his theories and ideologies more and more. And maybe 4 to 8 years, he'll get a shot at that presidency. Because I do feel like we do want someone who is aware of corporations and the automation of everything. We want someone to protect us from that because, well, we need jobs. We need to not let everything go to machines. Was the fear? It was the biggest fear in the 80s. I remember in the 80s, just beware. Your kids aren't going to be able to get jobs because everything's going to be done by computers, which of course isn't the truth. But that number just keeps gaining each year of jobs available for machines to do as opposed to people.
Yeah, and judging from what I've seen from him, I think he's a sincere person. I really do believe what he tells me, what he says. And the energy from what I'm seeing from him being with his wife is that, wow, they really have a sincere relationship too. So there's just something very charismatic about him. I just don't think he has the charisma to pull off this everybody join my idea. I think he's a good guy and he's a nice guy and I like him. I his charisma. Now, I would also say that he would be the best running partner for Bernie right now.
You think so? I was going to ask you. That was my next question. If you think that he or Elizabeth would be a better running partner for, let's say, Bernie.
Elizabeth Warren, she already shot her load. when she had the chance to shake Bernie's hand after their little debate thing, she said, "No, I can't believe you called me a liar. Are you calling me a liar?" She lost everybody, or at least because you can't let emotions get the better of you after the fact. The show is over. Now you got to go backstage and you got to okay, all right, you got me on that one. All right, fair enough. You gather up and then you come at them again for the next debate. But when you show that on stage in front of that, you show a weakness.
You do.
You got to keep your composure.
That's the one I did watch. That's the debate, the last big debate I have watched. And I watched Bernie smiling. I'm an energy reader. That's my job during the day. I read energy. I'm a psychic. And I was watching Bernie smiling as she was walking forward. And he had his hand out ready to give her a nice firm shake. She avoided it, said something to him, and walked away. And I remember getting online after that debate, and people were asking for refunds that they had donated to her already. Just that's how quick it was. I went from the television to jump on Facebook to state my claim or to see what other people think about it. And people were like, where do we go to get a refund fund? She's done. We invested lots in her, and they want a pullback. She should just drop out and give the money back or to someone else. That's what they were saying. I was like, damn, tough crowd.
And bless women's heart. But that's the problem with debates with women. You take it too goddamn personal. You really, even at that stage, that level of the game where you got to keep composure, but somebody just stings you a little bit, you're like, I can't believe it. How dare you, Bernie? We were just friends.
When I was looking at that, I thought that as opposed to her being overly emotional, which I agree she was, looking at it again, my first inclination was she was trying to hold a hard shell for her supporters that have that Hillary mentality where it's like, fuck men, we want women to win no matter what. So I think, and again, she was definitely showing too much emotion, no doubt, but just looking at that energetically and reading the body language and her energy, I felt like she was trying to expose a tough exterior for her supporters who were not going to want her to back down to a man. She's got a lot of the feminists and, again, the Hillary supporters. Now, the reason she didn't shake his hand was because she came forward and stated a claim and quoted Bernie from 4 years prior at a party or at an event where he said, I don't think America's ready for a woman president. He didn't say, I don't think America's ready for a woman president, or you don't deserve to be president, or he wasn't coming at her, I don't think, from a anger space, because he's a generally lovely person, I think, but she exposed that into the media, of course, 4 years later and right before the debate, which I thought was wonderful strategy or bad strategy, however you want to look at it. And so she basically quoted Bernie from 4 years later saying that America's not ready for a woman president, trying to get those henchmen riled up, the Hillary lovers, the feminists, the women who will stop at nothing to put a woman in office, whether she is the superior choice or not. And again, these people are blindsided. But I think she was trying to hold some shields up and be like, I'm tough. I can come up against a man. I won't let him say that women aren't ready. Well, he can say whatever the hell he wants. Whether you think it is true is another thing. But I thought that was a big dog and pony show and strategically laid out for a us against them kind of mentality. But I think it blew up in her face. I think you're right.
Yeah, she's done. She's just not believable. There's just something about her that's very mechanical.
I agree.
In the same way that Hillary was the same way. She was very mechanical. Like, she reminded me of those going into the tunnel of the Pirates of the Caribbean when you go to Disney World or Disneyland, and it just feels like they're the same old song, same old dance, same old. We're changing to this now. Okay, well, we got to be programmed to change to this now. It's just But I will say. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, do you remember when that oil pipeline thing was hitting real hard? I'm pretty sure I was still living in Boulder, so it must have been 5-6 years ago. Well, I remember I didn't like her back then, and it's not because she's a terrible person. It's just I didn't like her fakeness, her mechanicalness, her strategy. I thought it was too fake. And so what had happened is she found herself in North Dakota at that pipeline protest and had herself very visually being filmed by many people, being carried out of there, going to jail. So I felt, even back then, 6 years ago, whenever that was, we'd have to look it up to get the date, but I felt back then she had a hardcore dog and pony show where I'm like, she's going to set herself up to run for president, and she's showing the side that she knows people are going to vote for, which is stand up, be an activist, be the political figureheads who need you to be. So she was just, showed up probably in her limousine, walked up and said, hey, cop, arrest me, carry me out, and was like being carried out and like, look how strong I am for the people. And I was like, this woman is too showy. Get her out of here. And I think you're right. I think she's done. I think she shot her load or whatever you said.
I think America is ready for a female president, but it's got to be somebody who's got the demeanor of the it's funny that I'm going to bring this up again, but the Ricky Bobby movie, the grandmother, mm-hmm. her demeanor, that was just like matter of fact, this is how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she carried that. I forgot the actress's name, but she's wonderful. She's been in a number of different things. But she had that demeanor of like, okay, yeah,
no
I'm
bullshit.
a woman, but
mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm still a loving woman. I'm a caring woman, and I'm a motherly figure. And this is how it's gonna go down. There are so many women who run the household, so of course they can run a multiple layers of household, because that's all it really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just managing money, and where the priorities. So I don't think.
I think women will be more likely to spend money where it needs to go. I think women have a
whoa. No.
Less on war. You put a woman in president, you can watch the war funds just dwindle.
But don't, based on women in this Amazon account, I don't think you can make that free for all.
Yeah, no blanket statements.
Exactly. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, men are just as fucked up as women.
It's true.
No doubt about that. We're all fucked up. It just depends on what lifetime you're going through now. Are you male or female in this lifetime? You're still fucked up.
Still jacked up. It's just a different kind of jacked up. Well, you remember, and I don't know his last name, but it starts with a K, and I don't think I've ever heard it said out loud, but his name was Brett, and he got put on the grand jury. Yep, you got it. That's the one. And he was crying like a little baby and showing way too much emotion, in my opinion. And I remember just the meme after meme after meme showing pictures of him crying on the stand and being like, yeah, women are too emotional to hold political stances or political positions. And I thought it was just really funny that, he gets put under pressure and he cracks like a woman, and guaranteed he's not a healthy individual. And that's the thing about the government. These people, that's why I'm concerned about Bernie. He's been able to, I think, hold himself back from the typical corruption and seediness that can come about politicians. But that Brett Kavanaugh, or whatever his name is, he did not. You can tell that he's an alcoholic. He cheats on his wife. He has all these issues. He's probably bought and paid for. And then you just saw him blubbering on the stand, which it wasn't even a couple weeks later. They had, Trump had put a woman through the court systems, very similar in her name. I'm totally drawing a blank, but she was on TV for day in, day out, and she's our ambassador, or was our former ambassador in Russia. And, of course, he lets her go. She'd been doing it for 20 years. She's got short red hair. She was brilliant. I wish I could remember her name, because I really dug her, and I watched her for days because she was standing poised. Like she was not crying. She was answering the questions. Anyway, Trump let her go when he got into presidency and, of course, put his man in there, or several men, however that went. Right. Shocking, right? And so they put her on trial because there was some issue. I can't remember all the details, but I'm pretty sure Trump had something to do with it. So they call her to trial, and she stands stone-faced for 4 fucking days straight just answering questions. I was like, Jesus, that is a good representation of a woman having her emotions in check. It was pretty impressive.
Sounds like the Black Widow. You described the Black Widow.
Stone cold. Yeah. She'll eat you after sex.
Yeah. And I can't say that I've seen a female that is really like, okay, this person is a good leader in politics. Yes, to that point. That is really like convincing, but there's a lot of dudes that aren't the same. Yeah, aren't doing the same. But they can pull off a good bullshit act. They can be more impressive with this. No, we gotta, rally the troops, and we gotta be this, we gotta be that. So men are able to do that more than women. That's definitely given.
Did you like? I think her name was Kamala Harris. I think she's out of California. She might be a senator, or she already has some standing in the U.S. government. But did you like her energy? Do you remember who I'm talking about?
African American woman. I know who you're talking about, but I didn't see enough of her to really say. She was in and out before.
It's true. She was in and out. Really I thought she had a good poise. But I think, she might be better off in a different situation, like we were talking about. Like, that president is a figurehead. I mean, that's why I think Bernie would do okay in it, because you kind of just sit back and you're in charge of things, but you have cabinet members and many people working under you to help you take care of everything. But that Kamala Harris, I felt like she would be an okay president, but I feel like we could use her better in other injustices of this country, because I'm pretty sure she's a lawyer and she acts like one. She's there for justice. She's there. She's an activist, so I feel like I loved her and I liked her energy, but I felt like she might suit us better in another position, maybe the one she's currently in. But anyway, I think, let's see, did we talk about Biden? What do you think about Biden? What did he do at the debate?
Oh, Jesus, that's creepy. It's just everything about this dude is creepy. I can't even look at him, to be honest with you, without getting creeped out. All the memes, all the videos, all the little innuendos he does, everything about him is just real fucking pedophile-ish.
It is.
I don't know if he is, but I know from what I